With me now to discuss what we have seen happening this morning on the markets is CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Good morning to you, Eric. So, overnight trading in Asia and Europe in the red. Trump defending his tariffs. North American markets are plummeting once again. What do you make of where we are in this moment?
This is a free fall, not just with the global markets, but we're also seeing many of those who are supporters, ardent supporters of Donald Trump, now beginning to lash out at the president. We know billionaire investor and supporter Bill Ackman is now saying that it is time to end what he calls a nuclear winter. Already we have heard from billionaire Elon Musk, who says that he believes that there should be a free trade zone between Europe and the United States, which again is another capitulation. But again, what we're seeing from President Donald Trump is a continuation of no signs of actually this relenting. And also this morning, there was an initial report that the White House was actually considering a 90-day pause on the tariffs on all nations with the exception of China. But then the White House responded saying that was simply fake news. So what we're seeing here is that the president, even though there is this wholesale rejection from investors, from the markets itself, and of course from even within his own party, the president is now truly on an island as the world watched and waits to see what in fact happens next.
And I'm glad you mentioned that non-announcement about the pause, because if anybody has been following the markets really closely this morning, they've been up or they were down, and then they had a slight blip. They went up and everybody was wondering why, what had happened, and then they started to fall again. So I did want to ask you, you touch on the pushback against this plan. Over the weekend, we saw massive protests across the U.S. There were some here in Canada as well, in Montreal, protesting Trump. Are these people who are coming out Republicans, or is it continuing? Is it still Democrats? Is he losing favor with some of those people that voted for him in November?
That's a really good question. We can't exactly determine or ascertain who these people are. Are these MAGA supporters who are now disaffected with the president? But what we do know and how we get a sense of what is happening with Donald Trump politically is through his approval ratings, which we are seeing fall just as quickly as the markets. But again, we're talking about a president who has no more campaigns left to run, and right now is simply unshackled by any political restraints or any other restraints on him. And so I think what we're going to continue to see, at least in the short term, is not only a president that is continuing to double down on these tariffs as he continues to suggest that they are generating enormous revenue for the country, but now we see countries that are willing to negotiate. In fact, we just heard from the European Union that says they would like to begin negotiations on a no tariff zone for the United States. But again, will the president respond? Will his team respond? It's anyone's guess of what President Trump is going to do or is prepared to do at this moment. We know how mercurial and Donald Trump can be, and it's while it's certainly a scary and volatile time, there does not seem to be a moment where Donald Trump wants to relent from this. And very quickly, I'll also add, we know that the White House is also considering additional tariffs specifically on Canada, even as the markets are continuing to roil right now.
Eric Ham for us this morning. Eric, thank you so much for that. Eric Ham is our U.S. political analyst.